Okay, so hi, welcome everyone to AHA Biz. It's our daily 30-minute briefings on bleeding edge insights and practices that altogether form the emerging shape of our new normal. Every day, we round up actionable best practices from our business leaders, which you can apply to your own companies to level up the way you take care of your people, customers, and partners as demanded by business unusual times. My name is Chinny, and I'll be facilitating today's open discussion together with my co-AHA Biz ladies, Carmina, Dandy, and Sarah. Say hi, guys.
Hello.
Hi. Hi.
Hi. And yes, you heard it right. This is an open conversation, so please feel free to share your thoughts and opinions on our featured stories for today. So you can type in your thoughts on the chat box so we can acknowledge you. Just a reminder though, to ensure the quality of our audio, let's turn off our microphones for now unless we call on you to speak up. And a bit of a disclaimer also, because some of the company leaders we interview speak based from their own personal experiences on the ground, we will have to preserve their company's anonymity. But that's okay, don't worry, because at the end of the day, what really matters is the learnings that we can take away from their experience. Okay, so let's get the ball rolling, starting with Mina.
Okay. Hi guys. So ngayon, I want to talk about the accounting firm or yung tax firm industry, no. So I got the chance to interview one of my friends who works at one of the top accounting firms in the country. So short profile lang. This company has been operating in the Philippines for the last 97 years, so almost 100 na, with 1,500 employees. So basically, they deliver audit and assurance tax advisory, so within and outside Philippines to different industries. So yung industries that they service usually are consumer and industrial products and services, finance, tech, info, entertainment, what have you. So currently, what their key focus or priority is, since the lockdown kasi, one of their key focus areas has been keeping their employees and clients updated with all the plans of the company. So I think in one of our few meetings, we've been talking about information dissemination and communications of different companies to their people. So finally, I have found one na okay yung pag-disseminate nila.
May
So,
question na ako, Mina.
po.
This is Dandy. What are the main concerns of their clients or their employees?
Okay, so the main concern of their clients is yung processing talaga kasi ba tax, tapos tax season pa ngayon. So, major talaga yung effect sa kanila nung COVID. So, thankfully, BIR extended yung deadline for tax. So, medyo naging maayos yung system nila doon. Pero for clients, isa pa sa problem na doon is yung data privacy. But ang ginawa naman nila is they are continuously giving them information that they need kasi they want their employees and the clients as well to trust the brand pa rin even if nasa COVID times na tayo. So how are they doing this? So they are doing this through emails and video conferencing. So for the employees, what they are doing is they give regular advice and guidance through their bosses. And then supplemental guidance are also given per department. Aside from those na work-related, online meetings are also held among teams. So they could just check up on each other. So this is not work-related na. This is for the entire well-being na. Aside from they also monitor people's health. Kasi they give health monitoring survey. So if you have flu-like symptoms, the company will assist you. And then for their clients naman, they promptly inform them on policies and systems they put in place while the lockdown is still in effect. Like for instance, they can no longer do
PJ naman is
visits
part
in the
of the
offices
na.
kasi
So,
closed down na. So employees are... urge to
Ako,
communicate
baka
with
hindi ko
them
kasi siya
through regular emails and video
Monitor.
calls.
Sabay-sabay.
And
Oo, kasi pag
they also
nagsasabay
give
yung
their
Zoom at
personal
saka live,
numbers,
ang
so
gulo.
mabilis yung
Hindi ko
processing ng
malaman
work
kung
nila.
sino yung
In general,
kasi
they are
admin nagla-log kasi sa
reassuring their
live. So,
clients
Mm-mm.
that
nahuhuli siya.
even if they are doing this
So,
from a
ito
work from home
ngayon,
setup, they are still prioritizing the sensitive
pero
data
hindi
kasi
siya
di ba
lumalabas,
pera nga yung
no?
involved
Hindi siya
dito.
lumalabas.
Aside from that,
Nilabas ko na siya. Like,
the company also monitors
Ayun, sa
kung
baba.
ano yung nangyayari in the Philippines, like what is the advice from government and all. And then, whatever it is that is important to them, they make it a point to inform the latest developments to their employees. Like recently, diba, supermarkets have limited operating hours. So what they did is they adopted a flexible work schedule. So people can go to the grocery or pharmacy, even if it's quote unquote office hours, as long as you complete your tasks for the week.
I have a question, Mina. How would you compare this level of communication that they're doing in that company versus probably you've also interviewed some other employees from other companies? How does this differ? Yung communication nila dito sa company na to, sa tax company?
Okay, so I have interviewed another friend who worked for a really big corporation as well. And according to her, very vague yung information sa kanila na ibinibigay. Like everything, they had to do it on their own pa. Parang also because parang may mga law as in mga batas pa. Kasi this is in the banking industry. And some of the things parang pwede dito tapos hindi pwede sa kabila. So they still don't know kung paano yung process nun. So on some level, parang they're still struggling talaga right now. So when I found out about how this company handles yung communication sa kanila, I was really impressed. And apparently, kaya rin siguro ganito is because a few days before the ECQ announced, they have been doing a work from home talaga. Like parang for a few months ata or a few years na. So may foresight.
So it wasn't a hard transition for them in the beginning, but I think really the transparency, the communication was something that they wanted to level up during these times. Tama, no?
Yeah.
And what's the feedback, if any, from the employees naman of this tax firm?
For them, they are happy kasi they are being heard especially when they mentioned nga na yung grocery, mahirap siyang mapuntahan kung mag-work ka nga, ganyan. And if you're gonna go there on a weekend, yung tataas yung percentage naman na baka mahawaan ka kasi lahat ng tao nandun on the weekend. So, kaya nag-adjust na rin yung company sa kanila. So, they're pretty happy about it.
Guys, may I?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Andre here. Let's pretend I am your what do you call this? In other words, you're doing this business briefing to please me.
Editor in chief.
I am your AHA meter, right? Because this is AHA, right?
Yeah.
So I could be just the jerk who is always coming in and saying, what's the AHA about this? I'm not hearing an AHA about this. What's the AHA? Tell me what the AHA is.
For me, the aha moment here is that despite everything that is happening, this company is trying their best that their people are really, they are still doing their work ng maayos despite ng mga nangyayari na nagkakagulo. Kasi it's already hard that the world is in chaos. Tapos what if you're...
So the AHA here is that they got their stuff together. They're still doing. They're still getting it done. Yes.
Yeah.
So can you give us 2 or 3 at most reasons why they're able to keep their head above ground when everybody else maybe or too many other companies are locked up? You know, they're. I mean, we know of companies where straight from the CEO themselves, they're saying, yeah, we are not doing anything. We're just completely at a standstill. So, what are the top 2 or 3 things that they are doing that have allowed them to continue to operate?
I think first is that they have I think most naman have business continuity plans. Pero theirs, they are iterating based on what is really happening on the ground. And then I think,
For example,
for example, supposedly when you work from home, parang ano pa rin sila, like 8 to 5 or something. Pero dahil nga ganito na yung nangyari, they suspended yung ganung system. Basta you get the work done, okay na yun. So
so I
output based
that,
na.
that output based.
Tama, output based.
That's a point we can make. Any other proof, or I mean, any other like reason you can point to as to why they are getting it done?
I think another thing that they're getting it done is that they're very transparent to their clients as well. They are telling them what are their current limitations.
Okay, transparency to clients. So, what's an example of a limitation that they're talking about?
So one of the limitations that he mentioned is that uninterrupted yung client service delivery nila. Kasi engagement teams, they cannot go to the offices. So meetings are conducted virtually, and then other stuff na since tax to, like documents, they really can't get it personally. So yun yung isa sa mga limitations.
Okay, and so in this case, they have nothing to restart because they're business as usual in a good way. What about their? Did we get some insight on what about this situation has created a sense of new normal for them? What about these changes or opportunities that they are encountering nowadays? Do they sense might be more permanent and therefore that they have to adjust to for the long run in what we call the new normal?
I have not, to be honest, I have not asked about that. But based on what she has mentioned to me, I think one of the things that they could explore once everything is ended is yung video conferencing talaga for their meetings. Kasi apparently a lot of people are traveling then. So you could really save a lot if meetings can be held naman ng video na lang instead of you going to one place pa.
All right. Okay. Good. We're at 4:13. So it would be interesting to ask that question, as it, which is part of our standard questionnaire, and really get a sense of what about, because so much of business as usual has changed, and yeah, I'm part of why we're doing this every day. Aha Biz is to learn what about these changes are going to persist for good, for keeps. No? So that then we need to all align for good, not just in terms of a band-aid temporary way.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Nina. So I could probably share mine now. So I got the chance to interview the regional general manager for Vismin of a garment manufacturing company. So as requested, I'll keep the identity anonymous. So this company is a local 40-year-old family-owned business. This company is very conservative and is very used to the old ways of doing things. And their CEO always took pride in the quality of their products. They eventually became a household brand. With their nationwide reach, they're directly employing 700 people and indirectly affecting thousands of dicers and suppliers nationwide. So for the longest time, the key priority before was that is just to make quality products and meet quotas, but that's about it. But since the lockdown started, their key focus area shifted to supporting their people and taking care of them as human beings.
So, Chini,
Yes.
I'm going to be the bulldog here, right? You start by stating upfront what's aha about what you're going to share. Frame it for us right away. What's the aha? And then let's support it.
Okay. So the aha moment here for me would be that for the longest time kasi, they know that they always prioritize taking care of their people, and that their people are everything about the business, but they never really walk their talk. Actually, this general manager was very humble enough to admit that it took the crisis pa to make them actually internalize how important their people really are. So in a way to them, the crisis became a blessing to them because of the shift in perspective. Because in times like these, when people are lost and anxious, not knowing what to do, just letting them know that they're supporting and help is on the way, it means a lot na to their people. So
Okay.
what they're doing differently right now during this time of crisis is it's pretty simple naman eh, without even having to use fancy technology. They make do with the resources that they have to keep in touch with their people. So right now their leadership is keeping constant and open communication with their supervisors via messenger. So these supervisors in turn communicate to their factory workers and dicers. So apart from communicating updates on the support from Dole and then their 13th month pay advance, they also share self reflections and reminders to always stay safe and healthy with their families. The ironic thing here is, even if they met twice a week before in person with the supervisors, it's only now that they're in a long distance relationship that they've been able to establish this kind of personal connection with each other.
Was this sudden intimacy with each other brought on by the need for solidarity because of the crisis, or what's your sense of what's bringing this?
Definitely right now, the thing that's bringing them closer together is the crisis because every time kasi that they huddle up in their meetings, the only thing that they could talk about before was making sure that they have their performance, they meet their targets. Pero right now, the first thing that they, actually the only thing now that they could think about, since there's no work, no pay, is that they need to keep everybody safe. They need to also make sure that they pay them as fast as they could and para lang ma-support nila yung mga families nila because apart from their work, they have no other source of income kasi. So it really took this crisis to really shift this perspective.
Chini, may question ako.
Yeah.
Landy, do you think that this crisis sort of humbled the leaders? Kumbaga parang, because right now, we're all in the same situation, no? So parang, do you think that's also a factor?
I think definitely it's a factor because yung actually
I realize ng mga leaders na, okay, because I'm in the same situation, these are my problems. Shucks, probably everyone's undergoing the same problem. So parang, probably it was easier to relate to even to the factory workers, the dicers level. Tama ba?
Oo, it actually took them experiencing the same level of crisis kasi parang this virus actually doesn't really, parang walang nakatakas dito sa virus eh. It's an enemy that nobody can really see. So, knowing na actually yung yung mga leaders na to, they're also thinking about the safety of their families. So parang it makes this a lot easier for them to grasp na it's not just them having that same problem, it's the people that they directly and indirectly employ.
Well, you hit it spot on there. This is actually the topic of our Friday hour and a half session on the 12 weeks, courtesy of Joanna. The theme will be pain as a gift. If it leads us to empathy, because we experience this pain, we can empathize more with people, and if we can translate empathy into compassion and compassion into action. So, very good. Any parting words about this company?
Well, I think right now they're keeping their hopes up that by by the quarantine would end soon. Highly unlikely, but still they're being hopeful because the first thing that they plan to do is make sure that there are 2 dicers at least in each of their stores, so that not just, it's not primarily to save the numbers, it's so that they can employ as much people as possible to get their income going.
Okay, actually, I was ready to let this go, but come to think of it, this is a prime example of operations that have, by and large, ground to a halt, right?
Yeah.
So they're going to have to do a restart. The question is it sort of black and white? They're completely ground to a halt right now. What are they doing in order to, when the markets reopen, they can do as fast a restart as possible.
Right now, they haven't really considered this. This is actually one of the things that they can improve on, because right now they're pretty much stuck on their core kasi. So it's all about selling garments to them. And right
Right.
now, they're
Okay,
in the
so
midst of, yeah,
right. So this is they're not doing anything right now.
not yet, because in the middle of this crisis, the first thing that they are considering right now is the people. And I guess it's kind of like a flaw of large companies kasi. You kind of can only go fast for only so much, to some extent lang eh. So I guess
Okay.
it's one thing that they could improve on.
All right. Good.
All right. So
Yeah.
okay. So right now I think we're ready to hear from Dandy.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll go ahead. Mine is a bit different. I got the chance to interview the executive director for talent acquisition of one of the biggest multinational BPO companies in the Philippines. They have 20 delivery centers here. So the problem apparently with BPO industry right now is that despite this pandemic, of course they service international clients, right?
Yeah.
Um, they're busier than ever, especially this company. They're serving essential services. So more than ever, they need people. And of course, we're on lockdown here. They're forced to send their employees to work from home. Um, so what's the aha moment here? Two things. One, two of their key priorities right now is one, upskilling their employees. Why? Because apparently there's this illness in the BPO industry wherein they hire people for their specialized skills. But right now, since they're undermanned, a lot of employees have to cross beyond their job descriptions. So that's one. Two,
Sorry,
um,
Dan. On
yeah,
that point, how are they managing to do that? I mean,
okay,
that's not easy to do when you've been managing and hiring, and your entire operations is premised on specialists
yeah.
to just on a click,
So in
transition
terms
to.
of that, actually, they really do have internally a developmental plan. However, now they're just pushing the pedal on that, especially right now. They're encouraging their employees to go outside of their JDs and really volunteer in other departments. This way, they want to instill in their employees that they have to increase their value as an employee right now. So the way that they operationalize that is by really fast tracking their developmental plan. But more than that, it's really making their people realize that they need to do this and be more well-rounded. So that's on the upskilling side.
Okay.
Okay. So second part is, of course, still they're undermanned, so continuous hiring, right?
Ah,
So they still hire right now. What's interesting here is that in terms of hiring, since the parameters have changed, their top competencies to look out for have changed as well. For example, if before with the office setup, they look at whether the candidate has tendency for tardiness, stuff like that. Now they look at the capacity of a candidate to work productively unsupervised, given the work from home setup. Also,
got
for
it. Yeah. Go. Yeah.
this person a self-starter, meaning is he open to learning new skills? So somehow it has shifted their priorities in hiring, the competencies that they look for have shifted
So
given this
question.
new setup.
Question. So this new hiring imperative was only brought about by the pandemic, the lockdown. Yes.
Yes. What's
Or-
interesting
Yeah.
is that he says the BPO industry is always business as usual when it comes to disasters. Pero ito lang talaga nung nagka-lockdown was it took them by surprise talaga. It was a shock to them.
Right. Right. Meaning they have because they have service level agreements with big companies abroad. They need to always have BCP
Yeah.
redundancy, etc. But this was completely like the black swan event. Now, my curiosity is actually a bigger point, no, which is I've been telling people who have the means to do it, hey, if you can do it, go hire right now because talent is out
Yeah.
there. So what's their experience? Are they sort of like jumping up and down in joy because they're having a field day finding highly qualified candidates? Did you get a
Yeah.
sense of what their experience is?
What's funny is that he said right now, I forgot the term, but when they call potential candidates, they already answer. Kasi before, parang when they tap on candidates, they can't be reached. Right now, everyone's at home, so like everyone's easy to reach.
Yeah.
That's why it's easier to find people right now. But they're shifting their criteria.
Also, and how are they doing that? How are they doing in that sense? Because um, it's like I said, if you're used to doing A every day, and all of a sudden you have to do X
Yeah.
every day, are they finding? Do they have? Are they capable of hiring and finding and filtering for these types of new competencies versus the old ones that they used to do?
So as we speak, it's an ongoing process of training the hiring people.
Yeah.
This person that I talked to, he continues to train hiring managers for this new set of criteria to look out for in this new setup.
Okay. I think the biggest takeaway for this one is hire if you can. Now is a great time to hire. Now is a great time to build up your bench because there's a lot of stars on the bench that you can get, right?
Can I
Uh,
just add something to what you're asking, Dan, if they are able to find people? Because I was also able to talk to an old boss who is now the HR director for one of the biggest BPO company as well. And apparently one of their main concerns right now is the attrition rate of um of their employees who are resigning. Kasi apparently, if you've already given them benefits, it's a kind of, I'm not saying everyone, pero it's a bit of a culture in the BPO industry that they really think highly of themselves. So if they compare their benefits that they are getting from their company ngayong lockdown from their other friends who are also working from their company, nagre-resign pala sila. So parang they really think na, kaya ko naman maghanap ng trabaho eh. So I
okay.
guess finding people, medyo madali yun sa kanila. It's just a matter of hiring process talaga. And if they are able to do it, maybe they can also share it.
Okay, guys, we are up to 4:30, so we'll have to cut it here.